Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing wonderful. This is just going to be a brief video discussing with you some of the questions that you will generate answers to for your personal first part of your metacognitive reflection. Now, of course, some of these are going to be pulled and kind of shaped from the reading that we had for metacognitive reflection, which is written in very much a scholarly fashion. Remember that even though I'm unable to upload PDF files to Blackboard in any kind of accessible way, just because they don't really work with the readers, there is still an option to download the article as a PDF up here. And that's something that you might consider as you complete that other assignment that we have to kind of familiarize yourselves with the theory, thinking, practice, and role of metacognition and how it can relate to emotions and emotional regulation, especially in a stressful environment like college. What I'm asking you after you read that and do the other assignment is for you to answer a series of 7 questions. And each question, as always, will have a sentence, guesstimate next to it. And you will essentially be answering some questions about what your habits have been like in the course and maybe even outside of it that help you write. So you could think about self management. You could think about, well, if you have writer's block, which of course is referenced in number 7, what makes you feel stuck? What is your process like to get yourself unstuck, if you will? What type of habits have you noticed really help you be a better scholar, student, collaborator versus those that might hinder you and help you feel stuck? Or, and I wouldn't say help, but leave you to feel stuck. I wanted to know as well for number 2, when you are outside of this class, how are you actually applying what you've learned in English 111? So we do work quite a bit on engaging with others in a respectful way. You might even go to course resources and look at the netiquette guidelines because those kind of translate into the real world. In conjunction with that, though, the writing skills and the communication skills that we learn in this course are invaluable. So think about how you might use these in your interactions with others in your daily life, as well as how you might plan to use these for your future career. I have also asked you if you can identify any similarities or differences amongst writing assignments in this class. So, in other words, when we looked at project number 1 versus project number 2, what were some of the similarities that you saw on those 2 assignments, on those 2 separate rubrics? What is it that kind of cohesively was a theme throughout the course? It could be thesis statement construction. Of course, most of our thesis statements, all of them actually, were required to have 3 points. Always, we were required to use evidentiary support, but the way that we managed that evidentiary support, of course, was different depending on what the assignment was. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, there's always the usage of mechanics, so transitions, MLA formatting. Of course, be creative and think about, well, where can I synthesize, right? Where can I draw these parallels between different assignments? And also differences. So, again, when you're thinking about a difference, think about something like, and you can go in any direction with this, but voice was different for project 1 than it was for project 2. Textual support was actually different for every assignment that we completed in here, so on and so forth. I wanted to know, since your last assignment, how have you improved? What are you doing to grow as a writer? Are you working with tutoring services? Are you actually taking my feedback and trying to implement that? How are you approaching peer review and collaborating with peers and looking at their work as an example? How well do you think you've understood the texts that you have read? And what makes you believe that? Of course, you want to pause and you want to look at some of the grades you've made and reflect on, well, how well have I comprehended the readings that she's given me on how to form academic arguments, generate academic papers, create an effective presentation, so on and so forth. You also want to think about, how do you write? What effect does this have on your writing process? So, do you begin by writing by hand and then type that up and put it through a text-to-speech generator and listen to it out loud? Do you begin with nothing and go meet with the tutor and brainstorm? What is it that you do? Do you outline? Do you go to the pre-writing first? And then reflect on how does this affect your writing process? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? And since you've got 4 or more sentences, you might also think about, well, if you started to write one way before and you're writing a different way now, what that looks like. Also, again, just referencing this, what makes you feel stuck as a writer? It's good to know that because we all face challenges, like I noted here, but reflecting on how those challenges come to life, as well as your strengths and weaknesses as a writer, is exceptionally important. And it will really enable you to transfer your learning into different fields, as well as into your career. By recognizing whatever patterns you have or hindrances, and you can actually really become involved in your own learning and take control of it as well. Remember, we will always conquer these challenges if we're able to reflect on them, acknowledge them, and accept them. If you've got any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. You do not need a creative title, but make sure you do this in MLA and make sure that you number your answers. Have a great day.